Yes, sir. We are back. Your favorite sports podcast. Matter of fact, your favorite sports show. Matter of fact, your favorite show. Prince and Barty back for another episode 139. Sorry for the hiatus. Your boy been sick with this flu. I'm back. We pushing through. My boy Barty in the building. Was good, brother?
You ain't the only one sick, man. That flu bug going around, but we ready to get it. Let's get it, baby. We back.
Let's go, man. Super Bowl stage is set. Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots, man. You know, a lot of storylines, a lot of great talking points. But let's talk to the man, the myth, the legend, NFL guru for Barty Report, man. Talk to us, man. What are the first things kind of you're looking at as we head into this Super Bowl Sunday?
Man, well, the first thing you look at is who has the better defense? That's the real storyline. Is it McDonald from the Ravens when he was on the Ravens defense when they were a game away from the Super Bowl? Or is it Mike Vrabel, that outside linebacker that was coached by Bill Belichick to become a coach? It's a great story because you got a coordinator versus a former player. And a lot of times they say the people who are on the field know better than the people who are behind the clipboard. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good storyline. You got two quarterbacks who are trying to prove themselves. One in Drake May, who is trying to take the mantle of Tom Brady, and another one in Sam Darnold, who he went from the Jets to the Vikings to the Seahawks to now being in the Super Bowl. His team believes in him. Defense believes in him. And the thing is, we know Vrabel knows how to take away what you do best. He knows how to take away your number one wideout, your number one run game. So Vrabel knows what he's doing. But also, when you look at Seattle, they blew out the Niners. They beat the Rams. Of all teams who everybody thought that the Rams was going to be there, and we're shocked to see Seattle there, especially with Sammy Darnold. So it's a great storyline. I don't know who I'm going for. I'll be honest with you. If you ask me who I'm picking, Prince, this is the first Super Bowl I couldn't tell you. The
Same.
toss-up is so crazy. It's like Two-Face. If he flips the coin and it lands on tails, guess what? You're dead. If it lands on heads, then you live. Personally, I mean, if I had to just flip a coin and pick a team, I would probably go with Seattle. But anything from the Belichick tree, they know how to win championships.
Nah, for sure, man. Let's stay with Sam Darnold for a minute, man. You know me, I'm all about people getting they just due, getting they get back. You know, they left Sam Darnold for dead. Obviously, his tenure with the Jets didn't go well at all for several reasons. Jets are a horrible organization. They had no O-line around him. My co-host always tells me, styles make fights. You know, systems make players. Obviously, Sam Darnold got in a decent system with the Vikings. You saw the success he had. Recently, Jefferson literally was like, man, I miss Sam Darnold, right? Obviously, they chose J.J. McCarthy over Sam Darnold. You got to go with your young boy. Hindsight's 2020. But if I'm the Vikings and I see Sam Darnold go to Seattle and now he's playing in the Super Bowl this Sunday, I'm like, wow. Now, a caveat to that, what is J.J. McCarthy thinking now? As a young player, you know, Sam Darnold came in and pretty much housed your job, did a better job than you of leading the team, getting that offense clicking. And now you struggled last year. Justin Jefferson didn't make the Pro Bowl. He should have. If we being real, Shador made it, but we'll get into that. But what is J.J. McCarthy's mindset going into this offseason, seeing what Sam Darnold is on the verge of doing?
First off, when you look at the situation, J.J. McCarthy is still, light years behind Sam Darnold. Then number two, one thing that we didn't even look at, Prince, and this is what I just want to throw out on the page. It's not just one person who the Vikings messed up on. Remember when the Vikings had Diggs? Diggs
My
is in the
God.
Super Bowl too.
Yes.
Diggs is in the Super Bowl too. So now when you look at
Yes.
this, they messed up on Diggs and they messed up on Darnold. So the Vikings right now are scratching their head. Will they do the same thing with Jettis? Because they messed up with Diggs. They've had great players. Remember, who's the biggest Thielen fan on this line? Remember how many times you told me how great Thielen was?
Yeah.
And they messed up with Thielen. They mess
Yeah.
up with big name players. Adrian Peterson, they messed up with big name players. This is what they do. And so when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, the leadership of the organization, the GM, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, they pass up on big players, ruin careers. They had Randy Moss. Randy Moss went and balled with the Raiders, and he balled with the Patriots. They had Chris Carter, one of the
Yeah.
greatest wide receivers we've ever seen. They had Randall Cunningham for a good minute. I mean, we can name great names. John Randall. They've
Yeah.
messed up a lot of big names in football. So when you look at the Vikings, this is something for JJ McCarthy to think about and say, you know what? Maybe I need to take my talent somewhere else.
No, that's real. I saw a mock trade. They were saying get rid of McCarthy. I think it was like some first round picks to get Joe Burrow.
Mhm.
To get Joe over there, but you know these internet things. But let me ask you this with the Sam Darnold kind of thing of it. Do you think Sam Darnold's gonna change the trajectory of, working with a guy, letting him grow, let him feel the pro game before he make a decision of he's a bust? The media, fans, we're quick to put that label on somebody if they don't perform. The outliers are Jaden McDaniels last year. The outliers are a Bo Nix, right? Are a Drake May. I think that's few and far between. But Sam Darnold's a guy who worked his way, had some trials and tribulations, and now look where he's at. He just stayed a professional, and now he's reaping the rewards. Do you think now we're going to go back to player development and patience from front offices?
At the end of the day, man, you know what I always say, styles make fights. And I got that from you, especially when it comes to boxing. So when you look at these players, it's the styles that make the player. That offensive style that they run in Seattle is what's saving them. See, people don't understand this. Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, who and where does he come from? The same place that Sean Payton is in Denver, the same place that the offensive coordinator or the offensive head coach is in San Francisco. Kubiak was a product of that Denver offense from Shanahan. And so when you look at that offense, they get the running game to set up the passing game. That's where the great players had great years, where Christian McCaffrey's father, Ed McCaffrey, balled in Denver. You know, that's the Denver style of offense that they run, and that's what's working for Darnold, where you can get the running game going, to get the passing going, to get the play action going. And this is what football has been predicated on. We all know that run game is what get people going. And what they did was they beefed up their offensive line, gave them a better O-line. Any quarterback with a great O-line, he looks good. So it's the style that's making Darnold look good. And I think that this style will predicate we'll see in the Super Bowl. Now, do I see a blowout? No. I think it's going to be a low-scoring Super Bowl because both defenses are going to take away what they like to do best. But I think it's the style that's saving Darnold. And shout out to Darnold. He's doing his thing. And he's going to get an extension. He's going to be there for a long
Yeah,
time. And,
yeah,
and the players love him. The defense loves him. The offense loves him. I mean, look, Smith and Jigma, this is the greatest season he's had. And then you got Cooper Kupp, who was on the Rams. It's funny. You got
yeah,
situations where Diggs can laugh at Josh Allen. Cooper Kupp can laugh at the Rams and say, oh, we were left for dead, but now we're in the
yeah.
Super Bowl.
Nah, it's funny you brought up Cooper Cup. That's where I was going next. Cup is gonna probably be my, standout player of the Super Bowl, just because I think Jig was gonna be, keyed in on that running game. I think you saw in the last Rams game, a lot of underneath stuff for Cooper, had a lot of big plays, kept the chains moving. Cooper Cup's still a pro, man, still got great hands, still could run a great route, so I think he's gonna be a factor. You might have that Odell impact in this Super Bowl, how Odell was for the Rams, we were just talking about.
I agree with you, man. It's funny that you say that. 49er fans, Ram fans, they're all hating right now, talking about it's hilarious because you get to see the fan bases. Just like last year, you had the Denver Broncos and the Raiders fans didn't want to see the Chiefs win, just as much as the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins fans didn't want to see the Eagles win. Now you look at it, it's the same way. The NFC West teams do not want to see Seattle win, and the AFC East teams do not want to see the New England
Facts.
Patriots win.
That's right.
But the funny thing is this. I think the biggest story that we have going, Prince, is this. Bill Belichick is not, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Robert Kraft is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. But when it's all said and done, if the Pats win the Super Bowl, they will be the first team to 7 Super Bowls. They'll be there before Pittsburgh. They'll be there before Dallas. They'll be there before the 49ers. They will be the first team to 7 Super Bowls. And that's crazy.
Now that
That's
is
crazy.
I think Vrabel's gonna be the first coach or player to win as well. Vrabel.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a stunt, boy. That's a
Mhm.
big stunt if Vrabel could pull that off, man, and let me ask you about Vrabel for example, right? You look at the Robert Salehs, what's my guy's name in Detroit? The coach.
Mhm.
Forgot Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, it's Dan Campbell, that's correct.
Yeah, so, like, I think that kinda, like, raw kinda coach, that defensive mindset coach, it's a premium now, right? Where you look at a
Mhm.
few years back, the mind was the Kingsbury, you know what I'm saying, the McDaniel, the McVay, the mind coach, they're still at a premium, but why do you think the Vrabels, you know, the DeMeco Ryans, like, that kinda coach is getting so much success in today's NFL? When the quarterback's throwing a lot more now.
Well, I mean, let's really look at it from what we really see it. If you're a player coach and you played the game, look at Phil Jackson, he played the game. Pat Riley, they played the game. So there was more respect for Michael because they knew the game. You know, it's even to the same extent when the Lakers are doing better now because JJ played in the game. Player coaches get a little bit more respect, and especially the linebacker coaches. Dan Campbell, you know he's coming in to meet you in the hole. Vrabel, he's coming in to meet you in the hole. D'Amico Ryan, same thing. These are guys that were the roughest people on their defense, and now they're telling you what to do in crucial moments of football. You got to respect it. You got to respect it. And then Vrabel comes from the same coaching line of the great Lawrence Taylor. Think about it. Bill Belichick coached Lawrence Taylor. So he bred Vrabel. He bred Ted Bruschi. He bred Richard Seymour. He bred Laura Malloy. He bred all the people on that defense that was there. He was the defensive mindset for the Patriots. And now you bring it back to the Patriots again. You win, you see your name in the Ring of Fame of winning the championship, and now you're there as a coach. The players can't but respect it because they know, okay, he did this with Tom Brady, the GOAT. Now it's our time to do it for him. And so the players are excited. Listen, this is going to be, I can tell you this much, this is going to be a ferocious Super Bowl. Two defenses trying to prove that they're one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen. And don't be surprised if we see a defensive touchdown in this game. I don't know who's going to do it, whether it be Seattle or whether it be New England, but I'm telling you right now, the first team with the turnover might be the team to win the game.
No, I agree. I think also we gotta look at it's gonna be great weather.
Mhm.
In Cali, you know what I mean? The weather, so, like, there's no weather conditions, none of that, man, so the weather's gonna be good, so there's no excuses on the body. I wanna talk to you about something, man, so it's a discussion that came up, which I know you saw, and we didn't talk about this off air, this is real time, people. So, obviously, Michael Irvin and Brandon Marshall have their own podcast now, it's on Netflix, whatever, check it out. They were talking about Revis versus Deion, and Brandon Marshall said Revis is the better corner. And obviously, I'm a Dion guy, you know, and I just go right to the comments. When I see like stuff like that, it was like, he's smoking. Yeah, Revis is technically one of the best corners of all time. But what struck me the most out of everything was, you know whose name I kept saying? Champ Bailey. And then I was like, you saw you just said? I'm like, bro, let's go through it. I'm a Dion fanatic. I respect Revis. I respect Revis from the technical standpoint. To me, Revis's comp would be like a Kawhi Leonard to me. Very
Mhm.
efficient, very like technically sound. The fadeaway, the foot, the movement, the coverage. Where Jordan was just like an enigma. He didn't have a blueprint. Dion is a blueprint. Like he's not following technique. He is the technique, right? Where Revis is a
Mhm.
student, right? But then Champ
Mhm.
Bailey's almost a combination of Revis and Dion of just you know what I mean? And it made me think like, do we sleep on Champ Bailey? Out of all that argument, first of all, let me get your take on the Revis Dion comp, and then let's talk about Champ Bailey after. Go ahead.
Think that Revis guarded Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, and Randy Moss. And for that, that gives him a lot of cachet to argue
Chad
that he's
Johnson
close.
too.
And that gives him a lot of, yep, Chad Johnson gives him a lot of cachet to argue that he's close to Dion. But then when you look at Dion, Dion covered Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Andre Rison,
It's
Andre
Carter,
Reed, Chris Carter. So when you look at these guys, see,
Joey
the
Galloway.
the guys that we named for Revis was more size and speed, but the guys for Dion was tacticians.
Mm.
And one thing that I've learned when I look at Revis is if you were a great tactician, you gave Revis problems. There was only one tactician that gave Dion problems. Other than that, no one gave Dion problems. No one. Even Randy Moss gave Revis some problems. So when you look at these guys, you really see it. I mean, and I agree with you too to the extent that you can argue that Champ is 1B to Deion Sanders. It's an argument. It's an argument. I mean, I don't think that we can't put Champ Bailey not in the conversation. Champ Bailey is in the conversation. But if we're going to throw Champ Bailey in the conversation, then we got to throw Darryl Green in the conversation because Darryl
Right.
Green was a beast as well too.
Where
But
where you got
I
where
don't
you got
think
Charles Woodson?
he's probably 5. Like if we're doing cornerbacks, and no disrespect to Zon, I love Zon. Zon is a pick machine, but Zon's probably 7. And this is no disrespect, but I would go.
I don't even got Zach 7, but we'll talk about it.
I got at number 5, I probably would have Charles Woodson. At number 4, I would have Darryl. No. At number 4, number 4, I would have I would have Darryl Green. At number 3, and this is just close, I still would have Champ at 3. Number 2, I would have Revis. 1. Listen, what people don't understand about Deion was like Barry Sanders at the cornerback position. He wowed you every time he was back there. And the only person who ever gave Deion problems was somebody who worked harder at his position than Deion. That's what Deion said. Jerry Rice worked harder at his position than me. And that's what it was. Jerry Rice used to catch bricks. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was at a mill catching bricks from his father. So to catch a football on someone on tight coverage is nothing because he used to catch bricks. So I don't think that there's nobody in the history of football that's just going to get open on Deion. Because even Jerry Rice wasn't open on Deion. The ball just was thrown perfectly to a position where Deion couldn't get it. And that's the reason why he was able to catch passes from Steve Young and from Joe Montana. You have to have a quarterback that throws the ball pinpoint accuracy. To throw on Deion, you have to have an Aaron Rodgers type accuracy, a Patrick Mahomes. And I don't even think Tom Brady, people want to say this, Tom Brady was great, but I don't think Tom Brady's accuracy is on the level of these guys. He just has the longevity argument. That type of accuracy is like Peyton Manning, you know? And that's the thing. So to me, you can't say anything about primetime. Primetime is basically, I mean, when we talking football, prime time is like literally, when we say Father, Son, and Holy Ghost in the Bible, that's literally what it is.
Yeah,
Prime is like one of the
yeah,
Trinity of football.
yeah,
He's the Trinity of football. I mean, literally for me, the Trinity of football is Jerry Rice, Lawrence Taylor, and Deion Sanders. That's just me. It's not a quarterback
yeah.
because there's an argument. To me, there's always an argument at each position, but you can argue Randy Moss all you want, but Jerry has the stats and the rings. You can argue what you want at cornerback, but Prime not only has the rings and the stats, but Prime shut a corner down like Jay-Z said, or hold the corner down like Deion in his uniform. And Lawrence Taylor, let me tell you something right now. Cats can get mad at me all they want. People feel Lawrence Taylor more than they feel Michael Jordan. Lawrence Taylor broke Joe
Come on.
Theismann's leg.
Yeah, bro.
He broke Joe
Yeah,
Theismann's leg. Cats was afraid of LT. LT, you did not listen. Literally, they made a movie called Blindside because LT broke people's legs. He was hurting players left and right. And that's the thing. The fear that you had for Jordan was that he was going to beat you. The fear that you had for LT, you thought he would kill you. That's how crazy Lawrence Taylor was. And so these are 3 guys that, when you look at football, they epitomize the sport. The grit of football is LT. The athleticism of football is Deion Sanders. And the tactician of football, Jerry Rice. That's it.
you know what's funny? Imma counter everything you say, but for basketball. So, before the other 2 came, you gonna follow me, the standard was Jordan, Magic, Bird, right? That was the 3. We loved
Mhm.
Kareem. If you look at, like, the generations, that was, like, the new standard, right? And for a while, that was it. Like, yeah, that's it, right? I think 2 people got replaced, and that's Bird and Magic, and the 2 people are LeBron and Kobe. When you ask me the pillars of basketball, best basketball players I've seen is Jordan, Kobe, Bron, and it's not even a question. Like, I don't even. And here's the thing: I know Kareem got the records. I know Tim Duncan got the records. I know, bro. Kareem may never lose. I know what y'all saying, but there's nobody in the history of the game that you can say are better than any of those 3 players.
You're
So
100%. Hey,
for me,
and guess what? With that said, you know what time it is. Holding the court with Prince. Let's
man,
do it, man. You know I gotta do it. So we got to go with the first set of news real quick. So Prince, James Harden is a Cleveland Cavalier. Darius Garland is a LA Clipper. Before we go to the big news, talking about Cleveland and what they could do in the East and all the big names that go into the East, Prince, you are a LA Laker. When are they just gonna get rid of the Clippers team, man? It's like they just can't get it right. They had Harden, they had Kawhi, they had Paul George, they had all these big names. Shout out to Clipper Darrell and all the Clipper fans, Billy Crystal, all the big Clippers. But why is there a team in LA with the Clippers? It's like they just can't get right. Norman Powell was there. He was a great coming off the bench. Now look at him with the Heat. I mean, what is up with the LA Clippers? They can't get right.
So it's funny. So my daughter CJ, I got her watching Everybody Hates Chris because that's one of my favorite shows ever, right? So every time Chris thought he got away with it, he always got caught up in the end. And what was the famous theme song? Everybody hates. That's the Clippers. That's the Clippers. You literally traded SGA, the future finals MVP, for Paul George. Like, that's the history the Clippers have. Norman Powell, you had him on the bench, and now he's an all-star for the first time for the Miami Heat, leading a team. The talent that's been in that building, bro, it's insane. Now, let's go to the Harden thing real quick. And you know Harden, my boy, but for me, every time Harden has ever had an issue, it's always money, right? When
Uh-huh.
Harden went over there, remember, Kawhi was hurt, Paul George was hurt. Harden was pretty much holding it down, and he took a really low deal. It was like $20 million. He went there like really just, "Imma prove myself. I'm not complaining." Led the league in assists, whatever, whatever, right? Kawhi them come back. He's getting good numbers, same thing. They extended him, but they didn't wanna give him the years. I think they wanna do like 1 and 1 or something like that, right? I think he was looking for something long term. So with him, it's always some money thing. Now Harden's my boy, but he folds a lot. If y'all
Uh-huh.
go check out Nick Wright's breakdown of Harden, he killed it. And I'm a Harden fan. I was like, damn, it's all facts. Check out Nick Wright's breakdown and take on James Harden. Incredible. But the Clippers gonna clip. Regardless of what we can say about Harden, him and Kawhi was carrying that team. You know, they struggled now. They won the last 14 games. So you lose that momentum for Darius Garland, who's injury prone. LeBron them called him out on the podcast saying he's too small. And we know Garland's small. When they needed him last year in the playoffs, he wasn't to be found. So it's like Garland's just an undersized guard, man. You know, great talent, highly skilled player, but I don't think he moves the needle. And Kawhi just over there wasting years, a career All-Star year, for what ultimately to lose first round or not even make the playoffs? I don't know.
Okay. I got a couple more questions I want you to unpack real quick. But you know how we felt about the Celtics back in the day. Celtics just added probably one of the best centers they've had in years, in Vucevic from Chicago. They trade away Anthony Simons, and now they have Vucevic with a chance at Tatum coming back, playing the 4, Brown playing the 2. I mean, is the Celtics the odds-on favorite in the East now, with them actually having a good big man?
It does, man, because, you know, Big Vooch is shooting like 38% from 3. So, you know, you get that Porzingis vibe, you get the Al Horford vibe of a guy who can stretch the floor. So what does that mean? You can't leave anybody. You're not leaving Peyton Pritchard. You're not leaving Derek White. You're definitely not leaving Jalen Brown, or if Tatum comes back, you're not leaving him. You know what I mean? So the Celtics can play a lot of one-on-one basketball. They can manipulate a lot of matchups, and adding a big man like that, you know, he rebounds too. Like, he's a great rebounder. So it's really mimics Al Horford, but a younger version, a bigger version. He doesn't really play that great a defense, but it don't matter. You know, I think offensively, that'll be his defense. But Celtics are dangerous, man. They number 3 right now. Right now, low key number 3 in the East. So Celtics could be in the finals, man. Fucking around.
I agree with you. Definitely agree with you, man. I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire real quick, real rapid fire on NBA topics. I hate to do this because you know I'm a big time LeBron fan and I don't want to throw no shade at LeBron, but every day, my brother Lenny, shout out to my brother Lenny, he gives
Shout
me a
out
call
Lenny.
because he's a big Jordan fan. Actually his 2 favorite people in sports world is Michael Jordan and Jason Prince. That's his 2 big favorite people because he's a big time Jordan fan and respects Jason Prince. And so when I tell this joke, Jason Prince is gonna laugh. He says, since LeBron isn't the greatest of all time and he's the second greatest player of all time, won't you stop calling him the GOAT and call him the SCOAT? Because he's the second greatest player of all time. So my brother always
Wow.
says, when is the SCOAT gonna retire? When is the SCOAT gonna retire? And so I pose the same question to you. is messing up the money of the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers need to make some moves. When should the SCOAT, in my brother's words, because he's the GOAT for me, I'm just only making some jokes for our fans. When is the SCOAT going to retire? When you think LeBron should retire? Should he end his career this year or should he keep playing?
Okay, here's the thing too. I think with LeBron, what makes it interesting to just watch is you look at Jordan. Jordan's comfortable going back, hey, fade to black. I guess they love me when I fade to black. Hove. They're
Uh-huh.
comfortable going into hiding. They don't wanna be seen. They don't wanna talk, right? Kobe, same way,
Mhm.
rest in peace. LeBron is definitely the more social of any, greatest of all time nominee type player. He's the more vocal. He's outside,
Mhm.
very social media, cares about what people think. So, with that being said, I think what's LeBron's vanity play? Continue to I think what now LeBron's gonna continue to show his head could be over the rim, a lot of athletic stuff like, "Oh, look, I'm 40 plus. Look what I'm doing." Windmill, iconic stuff, right? It's gonna be stuff like that for LeBron right now. I think that's kind of his consolation prize right now, and but strangely enough, I don't think LeBron wants to do the whole tour of retirement either. I could see LeBron, like, making an announcement, doing some Nike thing, making it real, like, public, like State of the Union type shit. He gonna do it big. I don't know if he's gonna do the retirement of letting people know it's his last year. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say, but as a Laker fan, I can't wait for him to move on because I just wanna see what my team looks like and give the keys to Luka. LeBron is still there, you know what I mean? So you don't really so certain free agents, it's gonna open up a lot of free agents, to play with Luka. Once LeBron
Mhm.
kind of, they saying he's gonna have to take a deal next year, come back on a minimum. If he does, like we can't pay him, we won't pay him. I don't want to overpay for Austin Reeves either. And I love Austin Reeves, but I can't pay Luka's making 54, and we have to pay Austin Reeves at least 50 and Austin Reeves paying him 50, and that's the market value. Can't pay him that, bro. Speaking of that, real quick about money, real quick, real quick. George Pickens. Remember, George Pickens is about to be a free agent with Dallas, right? Dallas is in a weird position because Pickens is their greatest deep threat, probably since Michael Irvin. Am I tripping?
No, you spot on.
So CD can run underneath stuff. CD's a great receiver, but he's not Pickens. Pickens is game changer. Go 80 yards. He could,
Mhm.
Pickens is a great talent, right? But what do the Dallas Cowboys do? Because Jerry played games, Micah left, Mark Lawrence left. He played game. Dak, he played with Dak money, played with CD, played with what's my boy Zeke money. So
Mhm.
Jerry Jones is known to play with people's money. Can he afford? Because if Pickens goes out there, he's gonna surpass Chase and all them boys with the bread. Not because he's better, but because he got it's the next man up. Do you
Mhm.
think Dallas should pay Pickens, or what do you think they should do with that Pickens situation?
Dallas is in a catch-22 because they paid Dak so much money, right? And we see who Dak is. Someone said this one thing, Dak Prescott has never met a Super Bowl, but Sam Darnold has. And that's the same thing I would say with George Pickens. You could play George Pickens, he's a big name player, but is he the guy to take you to the next level? Smith and Jigma's the next level player. Puka Nakua is the next level player. Pickens is just a deep threat. He's a glorified deep threat. He's a guy that runs three of the route trees to the T. And one thing that I can show you is this: as a team as Philadelphia, we had somebody just like that who ran the three to a T. His name is AJ Brown. And look what he's done for us. So if you can't run everything in the route tree, I mean, and not just three routes, all the routes, I always put my mark in somebody by the name of CeeDee Lamb because if CeeDee's been hurt, but CeeDee's more of a long-term receiver, just like Chase. You have to run more routes. Those are the type of receivers that last longer. I mean, one thing that I know is this: your favorite receiver is Smitty. But Smitty runs every single route to the T.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I don't like about Pickens. Pickens is great. He's a great deep threat, one of the greatest deep threat we have in the NFL. But I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Real quick, man, I want to get two questions in before we wrap up. You got Carter Bryant, Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest. Is it time for us to just cut the TV off on Saturday night during the All-Star weekend?
And they added our boy too from Detroit. What's my man name? Duran.
Yeah, Duran is in it. Those three guys. That's all they got for the dunk contest is those three guys.
They big man, bro. I don't know about the other dude, but bro. Yeah. Hey, Matt McClung said he tired of y'all. Y'all won't even he won't even get a he
Yeah.
can't even get a roster spot in the league.
He does it doesn't make sense. He was only doing it to get a roster spot, to get a job. He's
Yeah.
tired of making that $500,000. It doesn't make any sense. Real quick, man, last question for the night, man. I just want to talk about this. They've changed the format for the All-Star game. So they have 3 teams. You got the US All-Stars, Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Durham, Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Johnson, and Tyrese Maxey. Then you got the US Stripes, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, and Norman Powell. And then you have the world team. Victor Wembanyama, Karl Anthony Towns, Pascal Siakam, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Deni Java, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just
World
call it a spade. Yeah,
world
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's
that's
it's
crazy.
it's sad to look at the league and say that our best players are overseas. And funny, all the bigs are on the overseas team, Prince. All the bigs. Pascal. Listen,
Bro,
okay, let's count the 7-footers. This. Nikola,
yeah.
Pascal, Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama. There is no 7-footer on the Stripes. There are 2 7-footers on the All-Star.
Yo, Sengun got robbed though. He was a snub. He got
He
snubbed.
did. He did. It
That's
was a few
crazy.
people who got It's a few people who got snubbed. But I will say this. This is what I will say. If Steph gets it going, the Stripes got a shot. You
Yeah.
always can count on Steph. If Steph starts hitting that long ball, then it's a problem. I'll say
But
this.
bro,
If the Stripes win, we're gonna be sitting down talking about Steph need to get in the GOAT conversation.
hey, but hear me out though. If you put that world starting 5, that could be the greatest starting 5 ever.
Nah, you right. I
Like
mean, you
ever.
got you
You
got
hear what I'm telling you?
no, you right. Luka and Shea in the backcourt. Or you got Wemby 100%. 100%. 100%.
So, that's spooky. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yo, let me
It's
ask
gonna
you
be
this
interesting
though.
to see rosters. Uh-huh.
Do you think I don't even alright, do you think Giannis could enter who's the next all-time great out of this new batch to you? Now, we know Luka is a great player. I don't know what Luka's story is. I don't know if Luka's gonna be the Bernard King of this time, the Melo of this time. I don't know what Luka's story is. If he's gonna be an NBA champion or is he just gonna be a prolific scorer? We don't know what Luka's story is, right?
Uh-huh.
Out of all the players now, who is the player that you look at that could be one of the greatest of all time? Like, and we're not talking Steph Durant. I'm talking about like the new batch, starting from Giannis back. What player in that bunch could be like in a GOAT conversation? Be in the room with Kobe, Bryant, and Jordan.
Y'all may say I'm smoking, man. Y'all may say I'm smoking. Prince, you may say I'm smoking. But the 2 biggest names that I see in the game that can be it's a toss-up between Jalen Johnson, he just needs to be on the right organization, and Cade Cunningham. Cade is a dog, and he needs to be on the right squad. He grew up liking Bron. He grew up watching Kobe. He is a dog in the making. Cade just needs the right system and the right coach. The same for Jalen Johnson. The thing that I've learned too is people don't want to say this. Some cats, they need a coach to push them. And those 2 guys, that's what they need. I think that
Yeah.
when Kobe came in and Kobe had the coaching that he had and he seen Mike and he wanted to go at Mike and he wasn't getting that love from Del Harris, that coach pushed him. It wasn't Phil that pushed him. It was Del Harris. Oh, you think Eddie Jones is better than me? Okay, nigga, let me show you Eddie Jones ain't better. That's what you need. And I think Jalen Johnson doesn't have that. Jalen Johnson has a little bit of Bron and Kobe in him. But Cade is a dog. Cade is a dog. He just needs the right opportunity. Look at Detroit right now. They're in a winning situation. That's because of Cade. Cade is a dog. And if we keep sleeping on Cade, Cade gonna show the league in a minute that it's his league. If there's anybody who I see from the newcomers, I would go Cade is 1, and then I would go Jalen Johnson number 2.
I mean, shit. I can't argue with you. I can't argue with you. Because K got that Brandon Roy in him. He got that
100%.
he got that
You know
Grant Hill in him. It's funny.
you
He
know what?
got the 2 niggas that were hurt. No, 3. He got D Rose in him. He got Brandon Roy in him, and he got Grant Hill. That's his comp. Those 3 people.
Hey, I got a question for you real quick. I saw this on the internet and I want to throw it your way. I thought about you. I remember I was calling you one day and you was like, "What you called me?" And it's like, and I forgot what I wanted to tell you. This was the question. Whose career would have been great? I'm gonna name 4 names and you tell me you gotta pick one. Penny Hardaway if he didn't get hurt, Brandon Roy if he didn't get hurt, Grant Hill if he didn't get hurt, or Derrick Rose if he didn't get hurt.
Jesus Christ. Oof, that's tough.
It was one more name they had, but I can't throw it in there because I don't know who your answer would have been. If I throw the other name in there, I know who your answer gonna be, so that's why I didn't throw him in there.
You know what's
Imma tell you
crazy?
who Imma tell you who the 5th name was after you give me an answer.
You know what's crazy about those 4 people, why it's tough? It has nothing to do with, like, the talent per se. All 4 of those people are leaders, and I think all 4 of those people coulda won a NBA championship. They were that good. Like, all 4 of those people coulda led a team to an NBA, so that's why it's different than, like, I think all 4 of them coulda did what Magic did, if that makes
Facts.
sense. Like, they're
Facts.
that good to me. Man, bro, I'm gonna
When
say I don't know, bro. It's between, like, Grant Hill and Brandon Roy. I think Derrick Rose ultimately is too small. He would have faced the Iverson fate, and I think Grant Hill and Roy is more mobile than Penny Hardaway was. His game was still kinda nice. You know what I mean?
well, my answer was Brandon Roy, but the 5th player, if I gave you the 5th player, I knew what your answer was gonna be. That's why I had to say it because I know the 5th player on there was T-Mac.
Hey,
I knew you would have said T-Mac.
I got 2 people you sleeping on,
Who?
Greg Oden and Bill Walton.
That's a good one too.
Cause
Greg Oden definitely. Yeah. Greg Oden in college was a monster. Before
you
them
get what I'm
injuries, he was a
saying?
monster. Yeah.
You can look at, Andrew Bynum. It's a lot of guys.
Hey, I got an injury that wasn't an injury. Your boy who was supposed to lend bias if he didn't overdose in drugs. That nigga
Yeah.
was a horror story. Lynn Bias was a bad boy.
He was giving Jordan the work in college too.
Facts.
But yeah, man, episode 139, man. We just talking right now, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Tap into the YouTube. I hope you watch the tailgate. Stay tuned for the Dr. J story. The Dr. J story is hilarious. Stay
Yeah,
tuned for
come
that.
come coming soon.
Nah, for sure. Shout out to our boy. Shout out to Georgie, man. We appreciate Georgie, producer, cameraman, director. Salute to my boy TC, Cuzzo. Thanks for the help. Yeah, man. It was a dope time at the tailgate. But tap in, Prince and Barty.
We out.